There are many foods that people associate with Boston. Some of the most common are Boston baked beans, Boston clam chowder, and Boston cream pie. We visited 3 restaurants where these dishes are their specialties. Durgan Park is known for their Boston baked beans. Peter Faneuil opened a large market house near the waterfront in 1742 and added a small restaurant that catered to market men and crews of ships anchored in Boston Harbor. They have been making baked beans ever since. Durgan Park is located right near Faneuil Hall.
We've been in business for over 200 years, so we've been baking beans since day one. It's not a family recipe, but it's just the recipe that they came up with, which they thought was the best baked beans that they tested out. We start out with a navy bean. We have salt pork, molasses, salt, brown sugar.
Baked beans is often associated with Boston because of the Boston molasses disaster in 1919. A large molasses storage tank burst, and a wave of molasses rushed through the streets of Boston.
That smell of molasses was all through the streets of Boston, and so people always remember that, and that's how Boston baked beans got their name. And people just feel like when they're in Boston, oh, I have to have baked beans.
The Atlantic Fish Company is known for their award-winning clam chowder. They are located right on Boylston Street and have been making clam chowder for many years.
Well, the restaurant was opened in '88, so the restaurant has had clam chowder on the menu the entire time. I've been here for about 5 years now, and we've continued the same recipe the entire time because it's a spectacular recipe. It's won several awards.
Clam chowder has been a tradition in Boston because of the city's location right near the water.
Clam chowder is a Boston tradition and dates back to the colonial times because there's a lot of obviously a lot of clams on the eastern seaboard, and fish chowder and clam chowder are very much inherent.
The Omni Parker Hotel is famous for their Boston cream pie. During the colonial times, New Englanders enjoyed a dessert called American pudding cake pie, which Boston cream pie is a direct descendant of. Chef Sanzian decided to drizzle chocolate icing onto a sponge cake filled with vanilla custard, and thus the Boston cream pie was born.
We've been making it since 1855. It started off as a cake almost. It's a sponge cake, and it's layered with pastry cream in the middle, and it's topped with chocolate and surrounded by nuts.
Boston cream pie is considered a tradition because it was proclaimed the official Massachusetts state dessert in 1996.
It's been here with us for so long. It's considered the Massachusetts dessert. Betty Crocker actually took rights out of it back in 1960, I think, and made it a national dish.
So next time you're in town looking for something to eat, you know where to get the traditional Boston food. Reporting for Inside Boston, I'm Caitlin Fichtel.